Good morning. I have always wanted to write for the mainstream, represent the mainstream of people. And long ago I decided that that would mean that I had to try very hard not to get famous. Because when you get famous, you're an elite. You can't possibly, you're going to be rich and famous, or at least, on your way, and you're no more going to be able to represent the mainstream, the majority of people, than anything. You're going to, you're sort of going to pretend that you're representing them, but you really aren't, because you're living different. Now see, I'm just a old lady living in a HUD complex, a very low income, and we have cockroaches and bed bugs. We personally,
now wait
he
a
hasn't
minute.
got bed bugs yet, but
Wait a minute now.
but his friend did just the other day. One of his talking buddies told him he had bed bugs. And did you spring away from him? In case one jumped on you.
No, I said, you shouldn't be bringing in those street hookers, man.
And he swore up and down that wasn't, he's what, 80? At least, and he claims to be
Well, he's
dying, but he
90,
hasn't
right.
died yet. And
Well, what's the point? You want me to tell you about the bed bugs? Apparently one of his neighbors had bed bugs in his sofa, so he took the sofa over to the trash room, which was right next to his apartment. And apparently the bed bugs decided, well, it's no fun on the sofa, so they decided to come under the door, and head on down the hall and moved into his apartment because there's a body there.
they could
Now, that's
feel that warm body.
That's his story, okay, and he's sticking with it, so.
So, all my
have no idea where
neighbors
this-
around
I have
me,
no idea where this is going.
here and there and everywhere, have somehow got them. So I'm just praying,
You're looking forward to it, aren't you?
just hoping.
Well,
And we're
I
just,
have been rejected by bed bugs. Damn, what's wrong with my blood?
and I'm too fat, and he drinks too much. We're just average American people that are close to down and out, but not quite there. And this is the
Why
people
do you keep dragging me
that
down? Why do
This
you
is
keep
the
dragging
people-
me down?
Well, he
First of all,
believes-
I've got a question here.
He believes
On
that
your-
because he has credit
on
cards,
your-
he is
on your,
rich.
wait a minute. On your basic premise
But I
that
don't-
you were going to write for the mainstream, and for years we've been making these videos, and
Well,
you
and we have to
constantly-
make sure that
I'm
not,
an activist. I'm an activist. I'm
well,
an
not too many
activist.
people
I'm an
can.
activist.
Well, of course,
Well, you don't. If you're an activist,
I'm an
you're not in
activist
the
for the most
mainstream.
unpopular cause in America, so that is going to keep me from being listened to very
Well, no
closely. I'm a pro-life activist, which means that most people are just going to turn me off and just not even paying attention, but because it's an unpopular.
Are we going to talk about bed bugs or what?
Well, no, I've moved on to other subjects that are equally.
Well, you're sliding
you
back
will
into your
never.
old subject now.
You see, you have to be very careful. Like the other day, a couple were looking at their new computer and their webcam and their and it took a video of them. Well, guess what? Their daughter, one of their daughters, put this on YouTube. And overnight, it seemed that this got 1 million hits or close to it. Now, this
Well, I don't
you have to be
know,
careful
said
that
one.
something like that doesn't happen to you, because then you'll become almost, a famous couple in America, and you will not be
I
able
don't
to
know who they are.
represent the mainstream. And the mainstream of American people are not very, doing too well right now, because so many of them are out of work. My son has been sleeping on the floor, and he's been terminated from his job because he has a bad back and can't do the lifting. So, He's
I
going
thought
to
you
be.
told me he was a mattress tester.
No, he's not a mattress tester. He's just a lowly hotel worker. And then now he's going to
See, I
California to try his.
I was wondering, a guy with a bad back. How
And
can
my other son has been out of work for some time. And, you know, his better off relatives are getting awfully tired of it. The fact that he has given up security, jobs insurance, and job benefits. They had to help him out, and, you know, it's getting to where if you have a good job and benefits, you are among the elite.
Don't get me
You
started
have
about
got
this
to-
job thing.
Me, I became unemployable fairly soon, so it kept me among the mainstream, practically with the down and out. And there's more people like us in the world than there is the elites, believe me. So as long as I stay in this category, there's no danger of me becoming an elite.
Well, as long as you come down here in the morning, and it is morning, folks, come down here in the morning and watch me in action, you have no danger of becoming elite.
I know I don't.
None.
Come down
You will
here.
not become famous.
Complain about his house.
You will become infamous. You will not become famous and or rich.
Because let me tell you,
Unless I
if
croak.
you're an elite, if you see a cockroach within 100 miles, you're going to scream for pest control.
Well, no, wait a minute.
You're not going to be living in a world
You
where there's
show me a
anything
person that
like
can see a
that.
cockroach within 100 miles, and I'll show you somebody that's from outer space. That's not elite.
Well, they're not
folks.
going to
That's
admit
from outer
to it.
space. Anybody can see 100 miles.
They're not going to admit to it right on camera and talk about it.
Oh, I would.
And talk about their bed bug problem, and you hear me
Goddamn
complain
kid.
about him all the time, drinking too much. He still look at it, and no, we have sets of problems that are just kind of more severe in a way.
Who's
And right
we?
now, we're going to help America elect a new president. So we are watching all the news programs, or as many as we can stand.
I'm pretty much
and-
shot for the day, you know.
And then we're going to decide who to vote for. And guess what? He said that he's not going to cancel my vote out this year. He's going to vote the way I go.
That's
No
right.
matter who it is, if I vote for a two-legged monkey, he's going to vote for him.
Well, as
So-
far as I'm concerned, that pretty much covers the Republicans and the Democrats, okay? So whatever you got going for you, you got a two-legged...
This has not been the case. He's canceled out my vote ever since I've known him. But this year...
That's why she doesn't tell me who she votes for
Yes,
anymore.
yes.
Except
Oh.
that I know who she votes for, okay?
So you can, and I will always contrive not to do anything, something that will stop me from becoming rich and famous. I will, you know, when I write my memoirs, I'll put something in it that will just be intolerable. Publisher won't even touch it. I'll have to sell it for $1 on the eBay. I mean, not
I
eBay,
told
but
you
the
for-
ebooks.
for
I
at
have
least
to
10
sell-
times,
I might
I
even
will-
have to give it
I will
away.
pony up some money and get Vanity Press. We'll get you published one way or another.
That's what
And then
happens to
get it over
people
with, right?
who are in
and
the
you'll mail it out
mainstream.
to all your relatives, COD.
They've got something wrong
Of course,
with them.
if they don't want it, they don't have to pay
now,
for it. They'll
Jon
send it
Stewart,
back.
we watch him now. He's an elite. He's an entertaining elite, but he
Well,
never has
because he makes $1
anybody
million
on there
a year.
who isn't pretty much into the elite. You know, now you don't ever see him on there interviewing people like us with cockroaches, bed bugs. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, wait a minute.
He
Wait a
just
minute.
not.
Nobody-
He just won't.
Nobody comes on the
Unemployed.
show.
I mean, they've got to
Folks,
be.
today we have some people over here with cockroaches and they're looking forward to bed bugs. So let's talk about it. What do you think, huh? Have you written a book on it yet? Yes, we're writing a book right now, bed bugs and cockroaches, I see.
See,
Well, in that
he's
case,
just not going to book people like us. on his show. That's all there is to it.
I
just-
wouldn't book me if I was him.
No, I wouldn't either. I would
I
not.
wouldn't book you either, come to think about it.
And because he's my companion, I get rejected in a lot of places. So
I knew it. Okay, we've been going for 10 minutes, and finally it comes around. Everything is my fault. Up until
Well, it
she
is
met
your
me,
fault.
things were going real
No,
fine.
no, they were going
over
fine.
in the ghetto, over there
I've
on,
always tried
on
to-
the west side ghetto, right?
I've
Yeah.
always had companions like you, dear. I mean, you're one of the worst, but
Well, at least that's something.
it's a difficult companion.
That's right. At least
You know, that's what
something,
the
though.
ordinary American woman contends with. That, you know, they're the worst kind of man you'd ever want to.
Well, you don't have to.
There's a lot of men out there like
You
that.
don't have
And
to
somebody
give me-
has to,
Too many accolades here, making puffing up my ego here.
somebody
You know,
that everybody else
I
is
might have to dump.
rejected.
I might have to dump you because I don't think you're worthy of it.
and
Whee!
so it's just trying, and those kind of companions and partners have kept me out of the limelight. They have, you know, given me a pretty bad reputation all throughout my life. But you know, I just pick them out that way. I say, well, just give me your toughest one, the most incorrigible old cuss you got, and I'll try to do something with him. What happened, dear?
What the hell do you think happened?
Woo.
Electricity just went off.
The
But that-
electricity
that's
just went
not-
off. We're in the dark.
No, we're not in the dark. Does this look like dark to you?
No, but
That-
talking about trying to stay with the mainstream so that your insights will be true
I
of
told
the
you.
mainstream.
I have told you this before.
Dog.
I'll tell you again. My apartment is wired, all right? I know it's in there someplace. So when you start bad rapping me and bad rapping
The
they
lights
shut my
went out.
electricity off.
The lights went out.
What do you mean? The electricity is out. Everything's out. The computer's down. Everything's down. Except this, because it's battery powered. You can't do anything about that, can you?
So we can finish this up and be ready when the electricity comes back on. But anyway, this
You got
is
5
just to
minutes to go.
say that in order to stay in the mainstream, you've got to be common, ordinary. You've got to deal with the worst
I
problems.
don't believe that.
Well, you know, or
In order to
otherwise,
stay in the
you'll get-
mainstream, you have to be just basically mediocre. See, I like
Oh,
being
no.
mediocre.
I'm
because-
not mediocre.
Well, you're
No.
working your way toward it. See, I like mediocrity.
I'm regarded as
because
having a few fatal flaws. A few fatal flaws. I
few
haven't-
fatal flaws. You could write. That's when your memoir comes out. You're gonna find out you got more than a few fatal flaws.
For one thing, the pounds, extra pounds I have, that it keeps me out of the limelight. And
No, it doesn't. Didn't you know that the majority of people in the United States are now obese?
well, that's the mainstream. We're all
Well,
obese
you're-
down. You go low enough to the mainstream, and you will find all the faults and failings that characterize mankind. And this is where I want to stay and do my work. I wouldn't be able to do my work if I was an elite.
What you're saying is you're a bottom feeder and you like it, right?
Well, yes, yeah, because that's where the work is. That's where all the work needs to be done. That's where the people are out of work, fat, they're discouraged, all of the things that the mainstream are. Poor, can't pay their bills.
Yeah, but they go on television.
It's just, well, not very often.
Are you kidding me? Watch television.
The
and these
elite,
shows. That's all
the
they
elite
got.
rule TV. They rule the movies.
They're not elite.
Oh, yes,
they're,
they
they're
are.
pretty people,
The
who
people-
barely know what they're talking about, and it started about 10 years ago. You got pretty girls and pretty boys. That's all they got. You know, then they
Yeah,
got
yeah,
crap
but
for
they are
news.
making a lot of money, and they feel that they have risen above this station in life. But I never wanted to get out of this.
Why do you keep pointing me?
Because I know that once you get out of that, you lose contact. You lose vital contact with the mainstream of humanity that is suffering, that is
Well, wait a
without,
minute.
you know,
Do you
out
see me-
work, and they
you
might
see me as a
not
main-
have any
Hello?
food. I mean, I'm rubbing shoulders with people who might go hungry at night, not even have enough to eat because they spent all their few monies on something that they shouldn't have done, or you know, there's thieves, there's just, you know, it's just humanity milling around at the bottom. And that's where I like to be, because there's where the action is. To understand that, I'd miss it. I couldn't stand living in mansions, you know, there nobody ever.
I wouldn't mind trying out
I just couldn't.
for at least 10 years or so.
You know, rooms that I don't even need, and this little apartment I've got is almost too much for me right now.
Well, it is. You're expecting bed
Yes.
bugs any day now.
And you know, he can't get his apartment cleaned. It's too big, and it's only one little room.
This apartment is
And a
clean.
bedroom. Oh, he thinks it. Well, you know.
Well, if the lights were on, I would go around and show you how really clean this apartment is.
Okay. Well, listen, I think we better call a halt before this gets to be so long. You're not even gonna watch it.
Geez, maybe the camera will go out.
But
too.
anyway, I hope this makes it. If you belong to the lower bottom, the bottom, I hope this makes you happier.
More power for the mediocre. That's what I say. More power to mediocrity.
That mediocrity. These are the people who have a chance of being original. I'd say.
I didn't know that.
Oh.